All right, so you are still watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Now, as the world still attempts to deal with the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, scientists are starting to consider the bigger picture here. How prepared is Nigeria for the next pandemic? Now, scientists say that the next pandemic threat is not far off. And this week, News Central has been partnering, yes, with Conversation Africa, Nigeria Info FM, and Punch Media Foundation to bring scientists together to start discussing how prepared Nigeria is, perhaps, heavens forbid, for the next pandemic.
And to give us some of the highlights of the event, this morning we have one of the panelists, Professor Folasade Ogunsola, who will be joining us on later today.
All right, so we have been following proceedings from the panelists. Some of them, especially yesterday, we brought it live on News Central about 10 a.m. yesterday. We had lots of people coming to talk about the pandemic, how we started for us as Nigerians, where we were before, the lockdown, and after the lockdown, the things that, happened. And it's been quite surreal, as in...
Yeah. In addition to that, also, it was a retrospect of the Ebola virus. Remember how we managed the Ebola virus and then where we are today, right? I think we have Professor Folasade in the building. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please provide us some insights. How far do you think the world is for the next pandemic, perhaps?
Especially Nigeria.
I think the world is closer than we think to the next pandemic. We have so many potential viruses that are already happening. I mean, Ebola is one. We have Marburg, we have hantavirus, we have the Nipah virus, we have chikungunya. And any one of these, considering that the world is a much smaller place, we have climate change happening, could actually explode and go global in a very short time. And I think what we saw with SARS tells us this can happen. So we're probably closer than we think we are. I can't give a figure, but it's not impossible. 10 years, 20, 30, another pandemic.
All right, Professor Folasade, you were one of the panelists yesterday. Now, one of the main questions at the event was how prepared, Nigeria specifically is. How prepared are we for this next pandemic that you're perhaps predicting? What will be your verdict on that matter?
We're not very prepared. And it's not just an opinion. We had an evaluation of our healthcare systems and our preparedness systems. And one of the things that was clear, we've had them twice, we've improved, but we're not there yet, is that our ability to prevent an outbreak is not very good. We're better now with response, we're better with detection, but in prevention, we're still not there. And that is understandable because we still need to strengthen our healthcare systems, our surveillance systems to be able to do that. And we're not there yet. And if you think about the fact that even during the COVID pandemic, the federal government allocation on health went from 5% in 2020 to 4.5% in 2021. And you would be expecting the reversal considering what we're just coming through. Right. So I think there's still a lot of work to be done.
Right. Okay, now, Professor, there were several high-level academics from Nigeria, not just Nigeria. We had people even from South Africa and even other parts of the continent at the dialogue. Briefly, What are some of the insights that you gleaned through during the session?
I think, first of all, on the so-called the negative part, really is that as a continent, we're still reacting to problems of health, and we need to start being more proactive and putting things in place. We've learned lots of lessons, but we haven't implemented those lessons learned. We just sort of go to sleep in between crises. But the good note about it is really that the solutions are here with us, and we just need to wake up to them. And that government has a place, and certainly must, and that we need to go from just talking about research to how do we implement the research. We need to go from talking about having inventions, but government really needs to learn that the gap between an invention and its commercialization requires funding, and we have to put structures in place. We also talked about research, and we had a very good insight that actually when we put money on the table, researchers come together in Africa, and we have to start to use this huge population we have, the 1.3 billion Africans. If we all come together, imagine the market. So it's how do we start talking together? And we have started. We have the Association of Research Universities of Africa that have universities from South Africa, Nigeria, and so on, all working together. And it's these kind of collaborations that will get us there. I think what came through really is that those skills of people working together, teamwork, collaborating rather than competing will get us where we're going. We do need the government to work, but we don't have to wait for them. At the academic level, we can start to collaborate without them. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Folasade Ogunsola, for coming on Breakfast Central on the program. You were one of the panelists yesterday at the Conversation Africa, which also a partnership with Nigeria Info and News Central. Thank you once again for coming on the program, Professor.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.